Welcome back to Indigo Smokes Tarot and Astrology. This is the next installment for the Venus series. This is Venus in Gemini. This is the natal placement, of course. Just to get into what Venus is in our charts. Venus symbolizes a lot of things. An oversimplification of Venus would be it's your love and money planet, but it kind of goes more in depth than that. So Venus is like our love affairs, our self-expression, our self-worth, our values, our power of attraction, meaning what we attract in other people, what we are attracted to in other people, and what we value. It's our ideal type. It's what seduces us, what charms us, what reels us in. It's our type. It's also our taste, our style, our aesthetic, how we like to spend our leisure time, what gives us pleasure, what entertains us, whether that's, art, music, anything that we like to indulge in, what we are receptive to. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't like explicitly have to do with sex. To me, it has to do with the vibe surrounding sex or the build up to that point. So dating, talking, flirting, I feel like that's more of where the Venus energy shows itself. Of course, some of that is going to trickle over into sex naturally, but I feel like the Venus energy is more so in the initial attraction and the building up to the sex part. But technically sex is pleasure, so some people would still view this as a sex planet. In some contexts it is, but I feel like Mars is more so like explicitly, it's like this is sex, but Venus is the everything surrounding it. So it's also our style, how we express ourselves, how we adorn ourselves, what we like to spend our money on, our relationship with money, how we save, spend, if we save, the gifts we like to receive, maybe the gifts we would give other people. It's our pleasure principle. Is that it? Self-expression, self-worth, values, how we can naturally attract like abundance, how we receive, how we can magnetize or attract blessings or things of value to us as well. And there was one more thing that I wrote about Venus. Yeah, love, money, leisure, pleasure, attraction, charm, our atmosphere, our vibe. Yeah, all that great stuff. So that's Venus. That is just the tip of the iceberg for what Venus represents in our lives, in our charts. Gemini, obviously Gemini is an air sign. It's the sign of twins. It's a mutable sign. It's ruled by Mercury, which is very playful, it's very fun, it's very lighthearted, it's very all over the place. So Venus in Gemini, these people are obviously and stereotypically curious, very inquisitive, very restless, easily bored, very perceptive, witty, charming. They have a childlike charm to them as well, or not childlike, just very youthful. They can be very moody and changeable in what they're interested in, who they're interested in, and what they're doing. They like space and freedom to come and go as they please, to explore. These people are typically very big on communication, or they're good communicators, good conversationalists. If not, they're at least interested in it. They want to do it. Very chatty, very flirtatious. Typically, they're very likable, very intelligent. I've noticed their sense of humor can be kind of sarcastic. Some of them, it could be like a nerdy sense of humor, but cute. What else? They require mental engagement, mental stimulation, rapport. They require adventure. They aren't interested in anything too serious, too boring, too monotonous. They like having information. They like sharing information. They like getting knowledge, sharing it. They like the exchange of energy. They like a challenge. They like to be kept on their toes, especially in regards to their personal connections, their one-on-one relationships. They like to keep things lighthearted and free-flowing. Once again, this is an air sign, so anything that's too messy, too emotional, they're not really there, seeing eye to eye with whatever that would be. Due to this, they may resist emotional or more heavier or private matters or topics, by maybe deflecting in conversation, or just overall avoiding heavier or more personal matters. So they may have a lot of acquaintances or have a lot of friends, but they don't really dive too deep into certain things with those friends. Attentive, perceptive, good sense of humor. They want to be heard and seen for their mind and their ideas. I would say, because this is the sign of the twins, they can have, I'm not going to say a split personality, but they can be very moody, very changeable, sometimes without them even noticing. I would say they're good storytellers. They can be very animated storytellers, and their communication style can be very animated as well. At some point in their life, they're probably very avid readers, thirst for knowledge, thirst for adventure. They may be prone to like researching things, anything that's a sense of adventure or like an adrenaline rush or something that fascinates them mentally is going to have them, hook, line, and sinker. I hope I said that right. Due to their natural keeping an arm's length with their own emotions, or just how they process their emotions, they can detach from others very easily. Because they're typically not emotionally invested in a very heavy way. Social butterflies, chameleons. They're very just curious about like social interactions and about people, so they are the type to ask you like a whole bunch of questions, or you meet them and they'll tell you their whole life story or something like that. Very chatty. They like variety in love, variety in dating, variety in their experiences, in their routine. I would say Venus and Gemini, their shadow would be, they could be prone to gossip, whether intentional or by accident. They can be awkward, they can be nervous, they can be very, very restless. Sometimes, once again, this being the sign of the twins, Venus in Gemini, they can come off maybe insincere or duplicitous or two-faced or unfaithful to other people. They can come off childish to other people, Peter Pan syndrome. Once again, they can come off detached as well, or fickle. They may lack the ability to be truly intimate in their shadow. They can come off manipulative or dishonest. Once again, Mercury is the mind, it's communication, it's words. So they can be very clever or wordsmith with their words in both their high vibration and their low vibration. This sign, Geminis, they typically have a dark twin that's lurking in there somewhere. They can be very hard for people to understand or like pin down. They can be very like warm, lighthearted, funny, spontaneous people, lively people, and they want that in others as well. What else? I would say their values would be variety, change, knowledge / information, flexibility, freedom, spontaneity. Those are things or keywords that would make their ears perk up, or what would grab their attention. They dislike routine, boredom. They probably I'm not gonna say that. As far as like a profession or something that they just may naturally be good at or skilled at doing, they can be, once again, back to the storytellers, good orators. I hope I'm saying that right. Very good at communication, working in communication, maybe media, creative writing, journalism, podcasts, any kind of written or verbal expression could be something that they're very good at. Maybe comedy as well. That's a form of storytelling. Communication as an art form could be something that they could utilize or be interested in doing. It may be a natural gift of theirs. I would say these people are pretty easy to get laughing. They're quick to laugh. They like making other people laugh. They like to be around fun and interesting people. Not anybody that's too strict, too rigid, too serious. That's boring to them. They kind of like things that they have to figure out, or discovering things that they didn't know. They would probably dislike dogmatic people, inflexible people. They don't want to be tied down. Their way of flirting would be maybe to show off how fun they are, or how intelligent they are, or how much they know, how informed they are. Once again, very flirtatious, very charming, very witty. Some people may view this sign as a tease, because they can be so curious or so interested or so fascinated with someone or something one moment, and then the next minute something has stolen their interest. So that can definitely make them seem like a tease, because they naturally do that, and it's playful. But some people, maybe let's say someone with this placement is trying to connect with someone who has a lot of Taurus energy. Someone who has a lot of Taurus energy is going to view that as being them as being unreliable or fickle, because it seemed like they maybe showed a lot of interest or came on strong with a lot of questions, with a lot of witty things to say, and then they just disappear, and it's just like they wouldn't vibe. So that's something that maybe people on the receiving end of Venus and Gemini, they may feel that way, feel like they're here one minute, gone the next, or wondering maybe why that Venus and Gemini person lost interest, that kind of thing. Let me see. Their desires, their interests, their taste may change often, and if not often, regularly, like taking it to the next level of often, and it regularly or cyclically like changes. Venus and Gemini, they can maybe gloss over the deeper issues in their relationships. But on the flip side, this could also be a sign that wants to talk about everything. But talking about it and lingering on it are totally different. So that's a certain perspective that can be utilized. They need a meeting of minds. Back to that mental rapport. They need an exchange of energy, of ideas, of knowledge, of information. They need space to live their own life, to have their own interests, their own friends, interests outside of the relationship. Another thing is that they can be super casual about love, especially in their shadow vibration, where they don't really take relationships like seriously as far as like commitment or longevity. I will say that I won't, even though it would be an oversimplified or a stereotype to say that Venus and Gemini is prone to cheating. I would say in their shadow, absolutely they are prone to cheating. But once they have someone that can keep up with them or engage them mentally in their fun, and that person or that relationship stays fresh, I can see a Venus and Gemini like committing long term. They can't get bored. It can't get stagnant. It can't get too comfortable. They may spend their money on books, on knowledge, on adventures, on trips, on social events, on art or creative things that are very light, very expressive, very like fun. They may not be super attached to objects or personal possessions. If they are, it would maybe be things that are, related to like social media, or once again books, knowledge, information, that kind of thing. Venus in Gemini, they would need a mate who is very interesting, very intelligent, flirty, fun, who has their own life, their own interests, and has no problem giving them their space, their autonomy. They would need a partner who isn't overly emotional or clingy, someone who's emotionally cool, or they have enough emotional independence to where they're not being needy towards the Gemini person. But yeah, whoever would keep the interest of a Venus and Gemini person is somebody who's busy with their own life and entertaining to be around and talk to. Let me see. yes, I do think that this sign could take a while for them to like fully mature into serious relationships or fully committing. You know, they would have to get a lot of things out of their system, because it's kind of like they'll feel like the grass is always greener. There's something new out there to discover. And outside of, they can take years to fully commit to a relationship, they can take years to fully commit to a direction or a path in life, such as their career. Like, it goes back to like that Gemini, jack of all trades, master of none, where you know a little bit about everything, or you've tried a little bit of everything but you didn't stick with it long term. That could definitely be a Venus and Gemini quality. What else? I would say Venus and Gemini they would refuse, whether consciously or subconsciously, to be drowned by too much heaviness or too much obligation or too much emotion, too much routine. They wouldn't do well with a partner who has too many questions or suspicions about, you know, what they do in their free time or why they need space or alone time. They wouldn't do good with somebody who doesn't trust them and allow them that freedom. Being with that person will only like frustrate them and make them want to run away. More values of this would be intelligence, open-mindedness, and mental agility. You know, back to, they need people around them who can keep up. They have a thirst for diversity and communication. The women will probably be, what's the best way to put it? The women would probably be able to charm other people through, you know, their mind, their intelligence, their wit, their flirtatiousness, their changeable appearance. You know, people with Venus and Gemini, once again, this is your aesthetic, so this can be someone who constantly changes their look as well. They can have a super cute, intelligent look, like where maybe they wear glasses, or they could just be somebody who their look or their taste, their style is constantly evolving. So this may be somebody who has 5 different aesthetics to them. They don't have one signature style. Their signature is that it changes constantly. So that could definitely be it. But these women are probably very witty, flirty, social, fun, easygoing, versatile. And once again, there's a Peter Pan or a childlike quality that these people typically have, men and women. What did I write here about men? The men with this placement would like a woman, or need a woman who is very sociable, very open-minded, fun-loving, versatile, smart, easygoing, funny, free-spirited, interesting woman to keep him on his toes, to keep him stimulated, to keep him engaged from, you know, wandering off. Venus and Gemini, along with Venus and Sagittarius, they could have a strong wanderlust about them. So yeah, they need someone who's willing to go on the adventure with them, and or give them the freedom to do that, and, you know, come back when they're done. People with this placement would need to be in relationships with people who know how to hold their own in like a debate. These people may have like random knowledge, like encyclopedia knowledge, like just random trivia. They could definitely either play those kind of games in their spare time, read those kind of things in their spare time, or they could just be a walking book of knowledge of just random facts. What else? These are also people who, with their friends, with their mates, they may want to be on the phone a lot. This is definitely the placement, the sign that could, you know, talk for hours. Once that connection is there, that would be, you know, very that would be very significant for them, you know, to be able to consistently maintain long-lasting, interesting conversations with one person over a period of time. That would be something that definitely would keep them interested or engaged, because there's never a boring moment where there's no mental connection or communication. What else? 19 minutes. I think I said that before with the men. Someone who won't limit his freedom, someone who won't bore him with too much emotion or too much talk of formalizing things or making things serious. A connection that is easy, that is fascinating, that's free-flowing, that's no drama. Nothing that he can be bogged down by. Mercury rules over merchants and commerce, and Venus represents material value and well-being, so that could equal like a good chance of success in selling, in retail, in selling products, services, digital products, digital services, working in media or education. Once again, podcast, writing, any kind of verbal or written expression. Venus and Gemini can either show interest in it or have a natural talent for it. Writing ebooks, networking, maybe being an app developer. They could have multiple streams of income or multiple jobs. Do freelance work. I would say Venus and Gemini, they wouldn't be good with a rigid work schedule where there's a lot of rules, where it's a consistent 9 to 5, day in, day out, and it can get too boring, too monotonous. So either having multiple jobs, having multiple streams of passive income, or being able to do something freelance would maybe be ideal for someone with the Venus and Gemini placement, or something, once again, that they're interested in. And they could be good with marketing as well. The shadow of this would be somebody who's maybe they make money via scamming, theft. And there's like one more thing, but I can't think of it. It's a con artist of some sort. Once again, Mercury is trickster energy, where it's illusion. It seems like one thing, but it's really another, being outsmarted. That is something that this placement may do in its lower vibrational expression, with other things backing it up in the chart. Venus and Gemini people can be very mischievous, dualistic. Like I said, these are the twins. Very quick, very talkative. What else did I write here? My handwriting is horrible. Sorry, guys. Cerebral thinkers. They can be very persuasive. Like I said, they're good with words. They're the wild child, confident, experimental. That experimental nature can show up in their relationships and their sex life as well. Sometimes Gemini can be associated with bisexuality. So in men or women, that could apply once again, especially if there are other things in their chart emphasizing that. They can be elusive to other people. They can be overly analytical. They can overthink. That nervous energy, that restless energy can show up as like a physical ailment or some kind of mental anxiety disorder of some sort, or emotional disorder. Let me see. I would say Venus and Gemini people, Gemini dominant people, they would be the types who they can't actually be in love with more than one person simultaneously. That could be an expression of this. The people who have this placement, they may attract like tarot. In tarot, the Knight card is someone who is still exploring, who's always on the go, who's here one minute, gone the next, who isn't really known for being, consistent in what they do or in how they are. So people who have Venus and Gemini, they could attract that kind of Knight energy, where whether it's male or female, where someone comes and goes often, where things are on and off, where maybe you attract people who aren't really consistent or they aren't predictable. That can be a thing. People are maybe confused about their sexuality, people who are bisexual, people who don't do traditional relationships. All of those things could be an expression of Venus and Gemini as well. But that Knight energy is never in one place for too long. So with Venus and Gemini, you could attract those kind of people into your orbit. I would say Venus and Gemini, they're not motivated by money in and of itself, typically. They're often not attentive to finances in the way that, say, a Taurus would be. So they would probably need an accountant, unless they're just super good with numbers and they can do it themselves. I wouldn't say that they're super focused on like money for the sake of money, only obviously as a resource. But I would definitely say with Venus and Gemini, you would need some kind of flexibility in how you make your money, or yeah. What else is here? I think I have one page left. No, I lied too. All right. Yeah, bisexual, sexually experimental somehow. Stereotypically, this would be a sign that could cheat, but like I said, I feel like if they mature enough, if they find that person who can keep them engaged long term, they can commit. As far as like love language, obviously words of affirmation. Like I said, they want to be recognized for their intelligence, for their wit, for their ideas. So validating that through words of affirmation could be a part of their love language. Communication is definitely a part of their love language. Quality time, because they want to do things, they want to be on the go. But more so words of affirmation and communication in and of itself. A theme that may show up in their relationships or connections is like sexting, or dirty talk, phone sex, or someone who has a lot of sexual tricks up their sleeve, or they attract people like that, whether they have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, anything along those lines. That could be an expression of this Venus and Gemini energy. This is a type to share random jokes, links, trivia. So this is somebody who would probably spam your DMs with funny stuff on Instagram, or just random things that they come across on the internet. This would be the placement that in their spare time, in their leisure time, how they connect with people is to send such things. This placement could also be a poet or a vocalist. Like I said, anything communication wise as an art form, I feel like Venus and Gemini could either be interested in, or they could be naturally skilled at doing. I would say Venus and Gemini people are very friendly, very enthusiastic. They're typically outgoing, but they do have their moods. They won't tolerate anyone or anything that fails to interest or move them. They don't have the desire or attention span for that. Also, back to their shadow, they could be very dismissive, irresponsible, and whatever a spendthrift is, I forget what it means in this moment, but yeah, that could be a part of their shadow as well. Venus and Gemini there, once again, this is a youthful energy. So someone with a lot of Gemini energy, maybe somebody with this placement, they could possibly not be overly concerned about like bills, errands, saving money, traditional adulting stuff. They may not pay it much attention, or how they deal with those things could fluctuate. Like maybe sometimes they pay their bills on time, or they save money, but it's not consistent. Maybe one day they did good at saving, then maybe the next day they didn't, or maybe they paid their bills on time this time and then the next time they don't. So fluctuations and things like that, are just not having an interest in it for real. I would say these people try on new looks, new aesthetics, new perspectives, new attitudes all the time. Due to their mutable twin nature, there's always another side of them that they are waiting to explore, or that they are exploring. And I feel like yeah, they live for anything that's new, anything that is exciting, anything that is interesting. They're always waiting to find that new thing, whether that's information, a person, a habit, a hobby. It could go either way. What else? Back to their love language, I already said good conversation and words of affirmation, but they need to be listened to. There needs to be fun there. It needs to be overall pretty lighthearted. Capture their mind, be witty, be a smart ass, be a little bit unpredictable. That's that's a good way in with the Venus and Gemini person. I already said they could be described as a tease because they naturally flirt, but at the same time they don't want to be tied down to anything. Their curiosity keeps them from settling down or finding the one, because they always feel like there's something else out there to be explored. For those in a relationship with the Venus and Gemini, I say just keep it fresh, keep it light, be open, be flexible, expand your knowledge on different things that you can talk about or converse with Venus and Gemini person about. Have your own interest. Also, this placement would spend their money on courses or things that are going to give them more knowledge. Taking classes as well. Like to travel. They probably like to travel in their spare time. They like to be in the know about whatever the latest info, news, trend, gadget is. They typically got game. They typically have their fair amount of admirers or people who want to get to know them better. I feel like I covered everything. I really do. Teaching could be something that they do at some point in their life. Maybe working with the youth as well. Their looks, their values can change often. Their interests, their moods, what they spend their money on. These are also the type of people who would be, they're attracted to nerdy people, intelligent people, witty people, interesting or quirky people. I was gonna say something else and I feel like I'm forgetting. I forgot. I'm sorry. For this sign, variety is the spice of life. They may take that and run with it for a lifetime. These people probably can go without a relationship for long periods of time, or they may commit to that as a lifestyle. Yeah, I was gonna say something. I can't even remember what I was gonna say. Their finances may fluctuate a lot. But yeah, that's all I have for you. I'm sorry. I literally dumped my brain on these pages, and I figured if I forgot something, it would have come to me by now. So I think we're finished. So I hope that this has been informative. I hope it resonated. I hope it made sense. If you have this placement or you know someone with this placement, let me know if you feel like I left anything out. I appreciate any and all feedback. I appreciate you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Helps with the algorithms, helps me to build this channel. I do want to get to a point where I can do YouTube full time, so help me get there. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. I will see you sooner rather than later in my next video. I appreciate you for watching. I love you. I appreciate you, and bye.